I'm back with another tutorial. It's been a minute. Been quite busy lately with the accounts, but I'm back. So in this one I'm gonna give you 6 tips, and I would call it essential tips that would definitely help your skills and make you more efficient when you're doing any type of work in Photoshop. So the first one is hair selection. That's something that comes up quite a bit. There's always hair to separate. So we're gonna take this image of this model and we're gonna remove the hair. First thing we need, selection tool over here. Quick selection tool, click on it. And just come around and roughly select our image. A little bit too much, but don't have to be perfect. Like that. Next thing we need to do is inverse the selection, because as you can see we have the background selected. So on the Mac, press Command Shift and I, and now we have the model selected. Click Select and Mask, and you get this. Not too bad, but as you can see, the hair is all messed up. It's too sharp. It's selecting some of the background. So we need the Refine Edge tool. Make a bigger brush. Try it with the default settings and paint on the edges like this, and it should knock out most of the background. Oops. And give you a better, more precise hair selection. Just come around the entire image. I'm just gonna run through these tips fairly quickly. I don't want this to be too long, but these are definitely essential tips that you should know. Just come all over, even a little bit inside like that. Get that in here, and maybe here and there, like that. On the other side, let's get this. Increase and decrease the size as you need. And let's go around again. Get a bigger brush now. See how it's giving you better look, more strands, the individual hairs. Like that. You can hold Shift on the keyboard, you'll get this tool, this hand. Click the mouse and you can pull down the screen. Just keep going around. Like I said, we're not gonna spend too much time, but you'll get the basic idea. Let's get this here. Now we got that. Next thing we need to do is press OK. And we got that, which is, as you can see, or as you'll see in a minute, a lot better. And this brings us to tip number 2. layer mask. We want to add a layer mask. To add a layer mask, easiest way is to come over here at the bottom of the layers plate and click the layer mask icon, which is this thing, and it gives you that. Background is gone, your model is ready for another background or whatever you want to composite. So that's tip number 2, layer mask. The next tip, which is number 3, is clipping mask. What is that? Okay, so when I edit, if at all possible, I always like to edit non-destructively, meaning I can always go back and undo whatever I did. So we got our model. Let's go to the adjustment layer icon, which is this. Click that, and we're gonna add a curves adjustment layer like that. Say we wanna maybe darken it a little bit, make it a bit more dramatic, like that. That's good. Now if I change my mind later on, whenever, I could always, it's just a layer on top of the original. It's just a layer. All you can do is turn it off, turn it back on, or you can double click and re-edit and reapply if you don't like the way it looks. Maybe you want it like that. Maybe something kind of funky like that. That's it. Turn it off, turn it back on. Now, the next tip, which is a continuation of this one, is clipping masks. What is that? I don't know. Okay, so basically, a clipping mask is a way to apply a layer mask to the image or to the layer that's directly below the layer mask. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so let's put the background, let's take the background back out, and let's add this. Let's drag it from here over here, make it bigger, and drag it in the back. As you can see now, the layer mask, which is this, is affecting the entire image. It's affecting the model and the background. So you don't want it to affect the background, you just want it to affect her. All you have to do, click on the layer mask, hold the Option key, and click in between. As you hover in the middle, in between the two layers, you'll see the icon, the mouse pointer change to something like that. All I have to do is click it, and now everything you do to the layer mask only affect the layer that's directly beneath. As you can see, it's not affecting the background anymore. So if you do something, you made a mistake, turn it off. I can delete and do it again. Curves. Come down, whatever you want. Up. Maybe something like that. And that. You want it to affect the entire image, you turn it off, you hold Option and you click in between, and it affects the entire image. So Moving on to number 4, vignette. Vignettes are something, maybe I should say edge vignette and whatever you want to call it. Let's remove it. Let's delete that. Let's delete that. And bring the background back. How do we do that? I like to make a new layer. There's several ways you can do it, but I like to make a new layer and fill it with gray, 50% gray, like that. Go under your filter, go to lens correction, custom, and you'll see vignette. Bring it all the way down, like that. Click OK. You get that. Then let's apply a color, solid color. Let's pick something maybe like that. Okay. And you change the blend mode, maybe let's try overlay. Well, screen is good. Put it in a group, and then to have it affect this layer, you change the blend mode again to maybe overlay, and you get some pretty cool effects. Soft light is okay, hard light is nice, vivid light, just your preference. Another thing you can do is take the color off, maybe do multiply or overlay to just affect the edges, so it doesn't affect the inside, it just fades in, and you get that. Pretty quick, simple tip. Next tip. Now let's move from that image, move over here. Maybe that one. Something that you may need to do a lot when you're doing different composites is to simulate depth or distance. Sometimes you might have a cool image, but you might want to exaggerate the distance, the depth from the foreground to the background. An easy way to do that is to go to filter, blur gallery, and use tilt shift and increase this, and then arrange this area in here where you want to be in focus. So I want the feet, something like that. See what's happening over here as you move it, whereas it was kind of like that, but as you pull it down, and you can fade it by just pulling this up a little bit more. You don't want it too blurry and out of focus, so just pull this up. Let's pull this one down. So we got our focal point in this area here, and we could increase it, exaggerate a little bit more. Let's go 85 if we can. 85. Press OK. Takes a second to render. And we get this. Pretty cool. Now you can add, now you can do whatever you want to do within here. Okay. Next, the last and final tip, quick tip, is, where is it? This. We're gonna how do we quickly remove this flower pot from the background? There's an easy step that I've been using from since I first started using Photoshop, and it involves using guides. So get a ruler, click on your ruler and pull, and you'll get a guide. If your ruler is not showing, press Command and hit R for ruler, or Control R on a PC. So let's start again. Click on the ruler, pull it down on the edge. This works for circular images only. And the more, if it's an oval, it's not gonna work. You gotta be a circle, and as near perfect circle as possible. I can look at this and tell it's not perfect, but it'll do. So we drag guide on the side, just touching, release. Another one on the other side, release. On the bottom, release. And we get our rectangular marquee tool, and we make a rectangle, well in this case it's a square selection, like that. Press Ctrl or Command T to bring up the free transform, and drag a guide again from the ruler to the middle anchor points right here, and it'll snap. It should snap like that. Drag another one to the horizontal anchor points here, like that. Then press Escape and deselect. Now we did all of that to find the actual center point of this circle, which would be here. Next step, you need the elliptical marquee tool, so hold it down to go from rectangular, elliptical, and you need to hold Option and Shift and click dead center, like that, and draw out a circle like that. Let it go. Make sure you have black foreground, white background, and press the layer mask icon. You get that. Remove your guides. And it's not too bad. Now we'll take this and we'll drag it to over here, place it on the table, zoom in a bit. Now since this is our last one and we're done, we could basically maybe let's flatten, rasterize, and maybe soften the edges a little bit. Just a little bit. Come around. Come around real quick. And since it's on the table, let's add a shadow, make a new layer mask, sorry. And get the elliptical marquee tool, make a shape, an oval shape. Fill it with gray, 50%. Let's rotate it. Resize a little bit. Put it here. Press OK and send it to the back. trying to match the direction of this. So let's move it, let's come over a little bit. Maybe down like that. Press OK. Let's go filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Maybe that much. Okay. Try multiply and drop the opacity. Want it to kind of match what's going on over here. So maybe a little bit more. Like that. And that's it. 6 quick tips that'll help you everyday editing in Photoshop. I'll see you next time, and as always, visit our Instagram account, launchdesigns.com, no E, all Launch Designs. So that's it. As always, visit our Instagram account, Launch Designs. That's no E, LAUNCHDSIGNS, or our website, launchdesigns.com. And I'll see you on the next one.